So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy Ellie, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. So listen, we're gonna check out this interview conducted by NBC with the first responder who recounts rushing into Robb Elementary. Right. First of all, let me just say prayers, sending prayers, love, and healing out to everyone in Texas. Those who not involved, those who were involved, those who were adjacent to what was going on, just those affected, period. And I want to send love and healing to everybody else, because whether you know it or not, you're affected by this situation. You're affected by the past situations, bro. You're affected. Everybody, I think, has gained some sort of PTSD from this situation and other situations that have happened in the past. It's no debating it. Because now when you drop your kids off to school, any alert coming to your phone, any news breaking news that comes across this TV, your heart drops a little bit. Because you don't know, and it's in the back of your mind now of what potentially, and that's a scary, scary feeling. Anybody who has kids will tell you that. That's a scary feeling. Because you're not there to protect them. The police right now are under they're catching a lot of heat. And you kind of knew this was gonna happen, whatever they did. Why? Because it comes to your babies. Your babies, our babies. They say it takes a village. Our babies, bro, who can't defend themselves, who we're put here to defend them. Stuff like that shouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not pointing at the police. I'm not pointing at anybody. I'm just saying our babies, bro, they can't defend themselves and we have to. So we got to figure this out. Regardless on who you want to point the finger at, we collectively have got to figure this out. I have kids, bro. And I don't want to bury them at all. At all. I want to see them to grow up to be responsible young men and live a life that they have the opportunity to freely live. Bro, this thing has been weighing on me, bro. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to get into this. It's going to be one of those type of videos where we lean on each other and converse back and forth and conversate in the comment section, bro, about how we feel about this. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's going to be a lot of finger pointing about who did what or who didn't do what or who allowed this and that. We're here. We got to figure it out. All right. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button, man. Join the fam. Let's check this interview out.
Border Patrol Agent Jacob Alvarado. It's good to see you.
Good morning.
I should mention you had shoulder surgery.
Yes,
this is not related to the events at the school, but you're doing okay.
Yes, I'm doing good.
How is the community of Uvalde doing? I mean, you were born and bred there. This is such a wound to the whole community.
They're suffering. Yeah, they're trying their best to get through, but it's hard. Everyone knows everyone there.
We were just talking about your wife. She was a fourth grade teacher there. She's going to 2 funerals today.
Imagine that. 2 funerals she got to go to. And he rushed in. I remember them talking about him. That's why I clicked on this. He rushed in.
I don't know if it's necessary today. It's either today or tomorrow. But yeah, she's dealing with that right now. She couldn't make it.
There's so much loss here. Let's go back to that day. You were off duty.
Yes.
And
I was getting ready to have my surgery. I was supposed to have my surgery Tuesday. It didn't happen. Thankfully, it didn't happen. I was able to be in town.
And you just decided to get your hair cut in the morning.
Well, I was at the award ceremony. I was there earlier that morning.
At the school?
At the school. Yeah. So I stayed around town, had breakfast with my mom, washed my car, got my car clean, and fixing to go get my hair cut.
And tell me about the text you received.
My barber actually heard shots, or he thought he heard shots. He was coming through the parking lot and he asked me if I heard it. I told him, so I didn't hear anything. I went inside the barbershop, sat down, and then I can't recall if he received the text first or if I received it. that there's an active shooter. There's an active shooter. Help. I love you for my wife.
And what?
Bro, chills are running down my spine. Cause set the scene for that right now. You know what I mean? Y'all can click off I really don't. At this point, you know, for those who want to come in and troll and say, you might be speaking too much. So what? It's a reaction video. You clicked on a reaction video. And if you don't like it, keep it moving to the left, bro. I told y'all I'm feeling some type of way about, I have kids that go to school, fam. So you gonna get, you getting it today. So imagine, set the scene for a minute, bro. You just left the school. You just left the school for an award ceremony. That's what he said, right? So you were there, taking pictures, being there, being a parent. You know what I mean? Enough don't get said for the fathers that are around, that do be there for their kids. I'm one of them. That are there at awards and field trips and donuts with dad and different things like that. Can you recall those? I can recall those, going to those, being there, being present. To then leave, go get your haircut and be sitting down and get a text. Now, from a first responder, that's what I was anxious to hear because I used to be a first responder. So when I was at the fire department, we would have to carry our radios home. We had to live so many miles close to the station. That way, if they needed help, we can come in and assist. And if they needed backup. So I didn't know if he had a radio, he had the pager that EMS we had, or you just got the regular text from everybody else got.
There's an active shooter. Help. I love you for my wife.
And what did you do next?
I looked for a gun. My barber said he had a gun. Both of us raced over to the school and met up there.
From your texts, it looks like you got there at 11:48.
Yeah, like I said, times I have no idea on time. I just know I got there as fast as I could.
What did you see and hear when you arrived?
Just chaos. Chaos. Everyone was trying to get to the school. People were trying to get everything situated. I was just trying to get towards my wife's room and my daughter's room.
Were there already police there?
There were some there already, yes.
And what happened? Did you just run in and start evacuating kids, or how did that unfold?
I was actually going over there, and then I went back to my barber's truck. He got me his shotgun. He gave me some shells. I put whatever shells I had in my pocket, and then I took off running towards the school.
Did you ask?
Now that's interesting because I've heard several different occasions, right? I've heard that police weren't letting people in and stuff like that. So it's like they didn't know, they were trying to go through their protocols or whatever, what have you. So I'm anxious to see how he got through them. How did he get through? Did he know them? Being a first responder don't mean you know every police officer out there. When I was a first responder, I didn't know every firefighter or EMT. You know what I mean? So you running up, and a lot of times the first responders are in plain clothes. They're not in, he was out. He didn't plan on that. You don't always plan on it. And for us, when we couldn't wear our uniforms around town. Why? Because when we worked at the fire department and when we were on duty and you go certain places, they give you discounts sometimes. You don't ask for it, but sometimes people like to show their appreciation and give you discounts. So what was happening was people during their off-duty time would, the bad ones out of the group would wear their uniforms out to get discounts at places. And it was getting back to the chief. So he stopped that for us and was saying, no, you don't have your fire department uniform on when you leave here. You need to be in plain clothes. So all of this kind of stops and you don't take advantage of businesses like that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you don't have anything. You may have a shirt that says, you know what I mean, first responder on it or something like that, but not like an official uniform on. But it sounded like they showed the picture that he was in plain clothes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm imagining how he got through. He just said he got a shotgun and shells put in his pocket. So he's running with a gun towards police during an active shoot. Like, I would want to know how he got through. Or did he know them? That would be something interesting to hear. You know what I mean? Because I kept hearing them say they were holding people back, not letting any people in. And as far as parents and others that were trying to get to their children, you know what I mean? They'd had a hard time. I know they had a hard time holding. Can you imagine holding a parent back, telling them it's an active shooter inside, and you holding a parent back from getting to their child?
I put whatever shells I had in my pocket, and then I took off running towards the school.
Did you ask the police that were there, hey, can I go in? Did you check in with them? I mean, how did that happen?
It's a small community.
Yeah.
My wife works at Robb. Everyone at Robb knows me. Pretty much all local law enforcement knows me, or I know the majority of them. So I was able to go in, and I announced who I was and made my way through.
Okay. That answers my question right there. Had to know. And he said again, he said small town. So small town, everybody knows each other. He pretty much knew the entire police force and everybody. So he was allowed to go in. Because like I said, I was hearing different things that parents weren't allowed in. You were hearing conflicting reports about different things like that. So he was allowed to go in. Now, whether or not you agree, he's a first responder. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be some parents that say, how is he allowed to go see about his child and his wife when I'm trying to see about my child as well? You know what I mean? So I get those arguments as well.
So I was able to go in, and I announced who I was and made my way through.
And what happened next?
As I was going in, I could just see kids coming out of the windows and kids coming my way. So I was just helping all the kids out. I was trying to contact my wife, see where my wife was at. I can't recall if I was calling her or texting her, but then I met up with one of the officers there, trying to see what's going on. I tried to make my way towards the door. I wasn't, like I said, I didn't have any of my gear. I was off duty. So I didn't go in. I met with another officer there, Ruben, which I went to school with, and his wife is one of the one that got shot by the shooter.
Whew. Granted, you could tell, even while trying to find his family, he was helping other kids get out. While on his way trying to find his wife, definitely you could tell he's a first responder. You know what I'm saying? Some people would have been beeline straight to their people only, wouldn't be thinking about nobody else. You can't blame them for that either, but you could tell he's trained, he's highly trained enough to be able to understand the situation and act accordingly while on your way to perform a task. Just to hear another teacher / wife / mom was taken out. Every time I hear it, bro, it just it breaks you down.
And his wife is one of the one that got shot by the shooter.
Mrs. Morales.
Yes, correct.
He was there looking for his wife as well.
Yes.
And you were there helping kids get out, but you were looking for your second grader as well.
Yes. My wife finally texted me or called me, told me she was across the street at the funeral home. After that, my next thing was to go get my daughter.
Your wife had made it out.
She made it
but
out.
Your daughter was still there.
Exactly. I didn't know where the shooter was at. I knew he had shot in the building. I didn't know if he was still there or not.
Did you hear any gunshots while you were in that vicinity?
At that time, no.
And how were the kids getting out? You know, I mean, I think people are trying to understand how this unfolded. It's chaos that is easy to understand. But where were the police? Where was the classroom?
The police were breaking out the windows on the outside, and the kids were jumping out through the window. They were jumping out through the window, in the parking lot, down the pavement, headed towards the funeral.
Now, one thing I heard, I don't know who. I just saw the post. I don't know who to give credit to. So if y'all know who to give credit for this, please give that person the credit. This credit goes to them. But somebody said that we should have like these real, like steel, like lockable, non-penetratable doors that once they shut, you can't gain access into them. What do y'all think about that? And I'm asking a legitimate question I'm asking a legitimate question, and I want legitimate answers and responses to that question, because enough about what happened, not what happened with this situation. I mean, we need solutions on how to make sure this type of stuff never happens. You know what I'm saying? And I saw that brought up and I thought about that. And what made me think about it just now was him saying the police officers were breaking the windows, getting the kids out. You get what I'm saying? If them doors are shut, they're inside, then you can make your way to each room, get the kids out safely while guarding and protecting that window while other officers are getting them down. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do something. It's gotta be some kind of way. I seen somewhere where a former military dude was posted out front of his kid's school. And he was standing posted like that, like he's gonna be there for the next 18 years of just making sure that each grade his kid goes to or each school his kid goes to, he's gonna be sitting outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are fed up and tired of this. Tired of this. So if they need to sit outside their school, their kid's school for the entire day, that's what they're gonna do. So, but I heard that, about the door sealing, of course it does present some other issues with that type of stuff happening. If a fire starts, you wanna make sure you can get out. Is there a button to press? You got to be able to cover all angles of what ifs if you do something like that. So I'm interested to hear what y'all think about that.
In the parking lot, down the pavement, headed towards the funeral home.
Did you ever see those officers that were poised outside the door? Obviously there's a lot of scrutiny now of those actions and whether they should have gotten in. Did you ever have any occasion to interact with them at all?
At one point I was there at the door, fixing to go in, but once again, I didn't have any of my gear. It wouldn't have been a smart move for me. All those guys had their gear and stuff. So, like I said, I pulled back. My wife had texted me, called me that she was okay at the funeral home. All the kids were already out of that building, so I went on to find my daughter in her wing.
What was that moment like when you saw your daughter?
When I saw my daughter, it was a big relief. Yeah.
And after she got to safety.
Bro, he's trying to keep it together. You see this? PTSD all over this man's face. He's trying to keep it together, but you keep seeing him. What you're witnessing right now is a real father reenacting real events that just took place. And he's trying to hold it together. So if you don't think this man is going to have PTSD, you're sadly mistaken. I wouldn't be surprised if he homeschooled his daughter from here on out. Because the way I feel, it's my job to protect my kids. They didn't ask to be here, and it's my job. So when it's out of my hands and out of my control, and I can't do anything, I feel, I feel some type of way about that. And now, in my mind, I need to do something so where this situation can never present itself again. And that may mean homeschooling my children. And me working from home or whatever I need to do. Because like I said, they're ultimately my responsibility. They didn't ask to be here. And I feel like I would have felt like I wasn't there to save them. You know what I'm saying? So just looking at him, father to father, I can understand every emotion he's going through right now. And I commend him for, number one, getting on TV to talk about it.
A big relief, yeah.
And after she got to safety, you continued to help.
Oh yeah, I cleared out the rooms there. Saw all her friends. I coach Little League Baseball as well. I'm not an official coach, but I'm always there helping out. All her friends, I could just see their faces. Half of them fine, the other ones panicking and crying, trying to make sure they weren't following and just delaying the process. I was trying to just keep them as calm as I could as they were evacuating.
It's so shocking. Obviously, there's a lot of scrutiny now about the police response. What's your take on all of that?
To me, I believe everyone there was doing the best that they could, given the circumstances. Yeah, I believe everyone there was doing everything in their power.
And how, these last few days, I asked you, had you gotten any rest this weekend?
No, I haven't gotten any rest at all.
Yeah. Because you're still haunted by what you saw.
Not necessarily what I saw. I mean, my wife is extremely affected by it.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You're talking about teachers. You want teachers to go in. You want them to teach your kids. You want them to install in them the knowledge and everything, the tools that they need, the smarts, the education that they need to succeed in this world. Stuff that you can't teach, math, literature, biology, you know what I mean? All these different courses that you want your kids to teach. But in order to teach, they need to be in a safe environment to where they can focus on these minds that they're trying to teach and instill wisdom and knowledge into. You want them to do that. The environment has to be safe for them to do that. How can you expect this teacher to go back and be focused and do her job? Like, he's gonna be dealing with a lot. Because one thing we didn't mention was the kids. They're gonna be affected. What do you do when you wake up and your 2-year-old, not 2-year-old, but your 5, your 6, your 7, your 8-year-old says, Mom or Dad, I don't feel safe. I don't want to go back to school. What do you do in that situation? Exactly.
It's a tragic situation. And I know you were so glad to be able to be there. Thank you for your time this morning, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Agent Alvarado, appreciate it.
Like I said, man, prayers to everybody affected everybody affected in Texas, and then everybody around the globe watching this, because whether or not you know it, you're affected. This is real life stuff, man. This is real life stuff. And I can't get mad at the parents that are yelling, screaming, fussing at the police right now. I can't really, you know what I mean? Because they're upset. They're frustrated. It's their kids. And the police have to understand where these parents are coming from right now. So, yes, they're catching some heat. But once everything kind of hopefully gets to a calmness and they can sit down and try to get to a solution of courses of actions to make sure this stuff doesn't happen again. But they just gotta deal with what they gotta deal with right now. These parents are frustrated, they're angry, and it's okay because that's their kid. When it comes to your kid, can't nobody tell you nothing about your kid. And if anything happens, you're upset, you're frustrated, you're emotional as well. So don't blame them or look down on them or judge them because of the way they feel right now. They're frustrated, they're angry, they're scared. It's a lot of different emotions right now. So once we can get to a calmness, we can start progressing forward, bro. But something has got to give. Something's got to give. Y'all get at me in the comment section, man. Let me know what you think and stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.